In this video, we're going to be adding some doors and windows to the plan that we have prepared. We will discuss doors and window placement, how to load new doors and windows, and how to create new doors and window types. Let's get started. Let's start with the door command. To get to the door command, you're going to be in Architecture tab, and then click on Door. And again, as always, when we execute a new command, we need to check the ribbon, option bar, properties palette, and status bar. In this case, there's not much for us to do on the ribbon and the option bar, so we're going to select the door type that we want to place. When you click on the type selector and expand it, you will see that right now there's only one door family loaded. So for the type, I'm going to select 36 inches by 84 inches. And first thing you're going to notice is that when your pointer is out on an empty space, you're going to get this do not enter sign. What it is telling us is that the element that you're about to place is a hosted element. That means it cannot exist on its own. On the status bar set, click on wall to place door. So it is telling us that wall is a host element for door. This makes a lot of sense that Revit makes door elements a hosted element, and the host for the door is wall element. That's because in normal circumstances, you will never see door on its own without wall. Here on the screen, I hover over a wall and the door shows up. If I'm happy with the location, I just click once to place the door. Let's try to place this door on a smaller building over here. Notice that Revit will try to place this door on the center of the wall. If you look carefully at the temporary dimension, you will see that the distance on the left is equal to the distance on the right. If that's not what you want, then you can move to the left or to the right to break that snap. For me, I'm happy with this location, but before I click to confirm the location, I want the door to swing inside and I want the hinge to be on the right hand side. So I'm going to move my pointer toward the inside of the building, and now the swing flip from outswing to inswing, and the hinge flip to the opposite side. Then I can click once to confirm the location. The do not enter sign that we see is telling us that we are still in the door command. So if you want to keep placing the 36 inches by 84 inches door, all we have to do is hover over the next wall. Now I want the same door approximately over here, but I want the door to swing again to the inside of the building. So I'm going to move my pointer toward the inside of the building. However, I still want the hinge to be on the right side. If you look at the status bar, it says space bar to flip the instance left right. So if I hit space bar on my keyboard, the hinge is now flipped to the right side, then I can single click to confirm the location. Now I'm going to escape twice to get out from this command. It turned out that 36 inches by 84 inches door is not what I want after all. I actually want the door to be 36 inches wide by 96 inches tall. And if I go back to the door command, click once on the type selector to expand, we will be able to see that 36 inches by 96 inches does not exist. Now there are a few ways that we can go about doing this, but first let me get out from this command. I'm going to hit escape twice again to get out from the current command. Then I'm going to select one of the existing door. Let's select this one. The property palette now is showing the property of the selected door, which is single flush 36 by 84 inches. This time I'm going to click on edit type. This dialog box is showing type property for 36 by 84 inches. If I make any changes to this dialog box, I will be making changes to the 36 by 84 inches type. And that's not what I want to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this and use this as a starting point for the new type that I'm going to create. I'm going to name this one 36 inches by 96 inches. Then click OK to confirm the name for the new family type. Now we have a new family type that has nothing to do with the original 36 by 84 inches. The changes that we make here on this dialog box will only affect the new 36 by 96 inches type. Now that the new type has been created, the physical dimension is still the same as the previous type. So if you look under height, it is showing 7 feet, which is 84 inches. And if you look under width, it is showing 3 feet, which is 36 inches. So we're going to have to change the height. We're going to change it to 8 feet. By just typing 8 and enter, it will default it to 8 feet. Now we can just click OK to confirm. The current selected door is now 36 inches by 96 inches. If we click on the type selector to expand, the new type will appear on the list. Let's deselect the door and double check the height in 3D view. The quickest way to get to the 3D view is to click on this little birdhouse here on Quick Access toolbar. Selected here is the new door type that we have just created. And it turned out that it is quite difficult to verify the height from 3D view. So instead, I'm going to go back to level 1 and cut a section through the two doors. The quickest way again to get to section is from the Quick Access toolbar. And I'm going to cut a section through the two doors. Hit escape twice to get out from this command. And double click on the section head to get to the section. The door on the right is the new door type, and the door on the left is the original door type. From the current view, I want the door on the left to be the same type as the door on the right. The quickest way for me to do that is to use match property command. So I'm going to click on an empty space to deselect the door. The match type property command is under modify tab and under clipboard panel. The keyboard shortcut for this one is MA. On the status bar set, select an object to select its type. Then select an object to change its type. Now the two doors are exactly the same. Let's get out from this command and get back to our floor plan. So I'm going to hit escape twice and click on level 1. This time I want to add a sliding door. So I'm going to go to architecture tab, then go to door. Under type selector, there is no sliding door, so I'm going to have to load one. To do that, on the ribbon, click on load family, and it's going to take us to the default location where the families are saved. Since we're looking for doors, we're going to look for doors folder. Double click to open the folder. Here is the list of door family that we can load. Also subfolders for commercial type door, hardware, and residential type door. If you single click on one of the family, it's going to show you the preview of what the family looks like on the right hand column. The one that I want to use just happened to be outside and is called double sliding. Once I click to select, I can click open. Then we're going to get this dialog box. This is called type catalog. The door that we are looking for is 96 inches by 96 inches, which doesn't exist on this catalog. So we're going to have to pick one that's closest to what we want, then create duplicate for it. In this case, I'm going to select 72 by 84 inches. Then click OK to confirm. On the property palette, you can see that door double sliding 72 by 84 inches is loaded. I'm going to hover over the south wall over here, then click once to confirm the location. As mentioned earlier, this is not the size that we want, so we're going to have to create one ourselves. Let me hit escape twice to get out from the door command. Now I'm going to pan and then zoom into this sliding door. So click and hold the middle button to pan, then scroll up to zoom in. To add the new sliding door type, I'm going to approach this a little bit differently. This time I'm not going to select this existing door. Instead, I'm going to go to the door command. Since door double sliding was the last door that we used, Revit remembers that and use that as the current door. So over here, I'm going to select edit type. Once again, duplicate since I don't want to make any change to 72 by 84 inches. I'm going to give it a new name. 96 by 96 and get rid of the 2. And OK to confirm the name. Width is still 6 feet, so I'm going to change that to 8 feet. Height is still 7 feet, so I'm going to change that to 8 feet as well. And then OK out of it. Now we have a new door double sliding type 96 by 96. I'm going to hit escape twice to get out of this command. Select on this existing door. So I'm going to click on type selector and change to the new type, which is 96 by 96. The door will get wider and taller. Be careful when you place doors such as sliding door because there is an outside panel and inside panel. And typically on a sliding door like this, The operable panel is on the interior side of the building. I know that it is a little bit difficult to see, but if you look carefully, right where my pointer is, there's an arrow that's pointing toward the left-hand side. That is an indication that the panel on the right is the operable panel. So what we're going to have to do now is click on the flip grip to move that panel toward the interior side of the building. In addition to that, I want the operable panel to be on the left-hand side, so I'm going to click on the left-right flip grip for that to happen. There's another way that we can make the flip that we just did earlier, but with this method, we have a little bit less control. Let me illustrate. First, I'm going to click on an empty space to deselect the door, then click on the door to select the same door again. With the door selected, if I hit spacebar, it's going to toggle between the 4 options that's available for the current door. The same spacebar trick works for other types of door, including windows. Now we are ready to talk about window. Window works pretty much the same way as door, with a few exceptions. To get to window, we're going to go to architecture, then select window. On the type property, you see that there are already a few window families already preloaded. The family that we're looking for is fixed, and the type that we're looking for is 48 by 72 inches, which doesn't exist. Now we can go to the library and see if the window size that we're looking for is there, and then if it's there, we can load it into the project. But to make a new window type is pretty easy, so I'm going to do that instead. Here I'm going to pick the window size that's closest to what I want. In this case, it's going to be 36 inches by 72 inches. Then I'm going to pan down to the location where I want to place the new window. Click and hold the middle button and pan. Then hover over the wall where you want to place the window. And again, be careful. There's an exterior side of the window and the interior side of the window. Typically, the exterior side of the window is where the glazing is. So I'm going to move my pointer toward the exterior side of the wall. Then click once to confirm the location. Now we know that this window is not the size that we want yet. So I'm going to create a new window type that's 48 inches by 72 inches. I'm going to start by clicking on the window, then go to Edit Type, then Duplicate to create a new type. I'm going to name this new type 48 inches by 72 inches. Then click on OK to confirm. Under dimensions, the physical side is still the same as the one that we copied from, so we're going to have to make changes to that. The height is 6 feet, which is correct, 72 inches, and the width is 3 feet, which is 36 inches. We're going to need to change that to 4 feet. Above the width, you can see that the default sill height is set to 1 feet. This we didn't have to worry about when we were working with doors. I'm going to leave it as is for now because I can change the sill height at an instant level straight in the property palette. 4 for 4 feet, then click on OK to confirm that we're done with the new type. The window is now 48 inches width by 72 inches in height. The next thing that I want to do is I want to set the header height to match with the sliding door to the left of this window. If you think back to about a few minutes ago, we placed a sliding door which is 96 inches by 96 inches. So instead of setting the sill height, I'm going to set the head height for this window. On the property palette, you will see under Other, head height is set to 7 feet. I'm going to change this value to 8 feet instead. And by doing that, the sill height will get updated accordingly. What will happen is Revit will take the head height minus the total height of the window, and from there, the new sill height will be generated. For now, take a mental note of where the sill height is. I'm going to change the head height to 8 feet. So 8 feet minus 6 feet, which is the height of the window. Then we will be left with 2 feet, which will be the new value of the sill height. Let's go to the south elevation to confirm that the head height matches with the height of the adjacent door. Looks like it is matching. Let's go back to level 1 and add one more window. This time I'm going to add a casement window and it's going to be 48 by 72 inches. I know that it doesn't exist yet on the type selector, so I'm going to have to load it. This time, instead of executing a command and then load, I'm just going to go straight to Insert, then Load Family. As you can see here on the Load Family dialog box, Revit remember where we were last, so we're going to have to backtrack a little bit to the main family folder. We're looking for window families, so I'm going to scroll down and look for window folder. Again, we're looking for casement window, so I'm going to select casement single left. When I click open, we're going to get type catalog again. Remember that the window size that we're looking for is 48 by 72, so I'm going to have to scroll down, which again doesn't exist. So I'm going to pick one that's closest to what I want, 36 by 65, and then OK out of it. Now we can go back to architecture, then select window. The newly loaded window will be first on the type selector, so we don't have to do anything there. From here, we can just move our pointer over the wall that we want to place our new window. I'm going to place it here. Let me zoom in. Again, we know that this window doesn't have the correct size yet, so I'm going to escape twice to get out of this command. Click on this window, edit type, duplicate to create new type, and rename accordingly. Then OK to confirm. Change the width and the height to match the name. And then OK to confirm. The selected window is now assigned to a new family type under Window Casement Single Left Family. The new family type is 48 inches wide by 72 inches tall. If you are confused about the element structure that I've been mentioning throughout this video, the category, family, type, and instance, I suggest that you watch my previous video about Revit elements. Click on the link provided on the top right corner of your screen to get there. The next thing that I'm going to do here is make sure that the window header height matches with the height of the adjacent door on the right hand side. The height of the adjacent door on the right hand side is 96 inches. So if I scroll down under head height, it is set at 9 feet right now. I'm going to change that to 8 feet, which is 96 inches. Then if you take 8 feet minus the height of the window, which is 6 feet, the new sill height is going to be 2 feet automatically. Let's go to the 3D view to confirm the height. That is the window that we have just placed, and it looks like the header matches the height of the door perfectly. Let's go back to level 1 one more time. And then zoom extend. The shortcut is ZE. For the last part of this video, I want to cover some of the issues that beginner most likely will run into. In preparation for that, I'm going to have to load some new families. In effort to save time, I'm going to skip the recording of that and jump right into the issue and show you how to fix it. First, let me zoom into this area. This is a 2-story building, and later on I'm going to be adding stairs that go up to the second floor from here. That gives me a small space underneath the stair that I can use for storage. So I'm going to add a door on this wall to give access to that storage. To do that, I'm going to have to go to Architecture tab, Door, and I have loaded a new door that is 24 inches wide by 36 inches in height. So I'm going to select that and place it right over here. This time around, you're going to notice that the door is not showing. And to explain this simply without getting into too much detail, the reason is because the door is not tall enough. In this particular view, the plan view, the cut plane is set at 4 feet 0 inches above the ground. So any element that the cut plane can cut, you'll be able to see. In this case, the door that we are placing is 36 inches in height, which is 12 inches below the cut plane, and that is the reason why we cannot see it. I'm going to place it anyway, knowing that it's there, but we just can't see it. So I'm going to single click on the wall to place the door. Now the wrong way to fix this problem is to move the cut plane for this entire view so that it's lower than 3 feet so that we can see that door that we have just placed. Doing that will create problems elsewhere. So I'm going to show you the right way to fix this. To fix this, we're going to create a small window around the storage door, and within that window, we're going to override the cut plane so that it is below 3 feet. The command to do that is Plan Region. Plan Region is under View tab, and under Create Panel, the command is hidden behind Plan Views. If you click on Plan Views, it'll give you a drop-down menu. Select Plan Region. Then it's going to take you to Sketch Mode. I will be talking about sketch mode in detail later on when we discuss floor and roof, so I'm going to skip this for now. And at the time you're watching this video, if that video is available, you will see the link on the top right corner of your screen. Under Draw panel, I'm going to select Rectangle to draw a generous size window around the storage door. Once you second click to confirm that you're done with the rectangle, the Property palette will be enabled. Under Property palette, you only have one option, which is Wheel Range. I'm going to click Edit, and it's going to give me this dialog box. As you can see, the cut plane is set to 4 feet, which is higher than the height of the storage door. So I'm going to change that to 2 feet so that it clearly cut through the storage door. Now we can click the check mark to get out from the sketch mode. The window that we drew in sketch mode is now shown in hidden line. Also, now you can see the storage door. Another warning that I want to give you is be generous about the size of the window. If you make it too small, the opening will show, but you will not be able to see the door. Let me zoom out. The next issue that I want to talk about is kind of similar to the one that we discussed previously, but the opposite. To illustrate that, I'm going to have to place a window. I'm going to place a sliding window that is 8 feet wide by 4 feet tall. Then I will hit Escape twice, then zoom in to the window. Since I wasn't being careful when I placed this window, right now the operable side of the window is on the exterior side of the building, so I'm going to have to flip it. Click on an empty space once to deselect the window. As far as the line weight is concerned, this window looks correct. But then again, when I placed this window, I wasn't being careful about setting the header height either. For this project, I want to make sure that the header height is set to 8 feet throughout. Let me open up North Elevation, then View Tiles so that we can see both views at the same time. I'm going to type WT on my keyboard. Let me zoom and pan so that we have a better view of the window that we have just placed. As you can see on the north elevation, the window that we have just placed is slightly lower than the one that we placed previously. If I go to Property and scroll down, the head height is set to 7 feet for the new window. I'm going to change that to 8 feet. Move the pointer out of the Property palette. Now the head height for both windows are the same. However, on the plan view, the line weights are no longer shown correctly. Now if you do a little math, the head height is 8 feet and the window height is 4 feet. Which make the sill height co-planing with the cut plane at 4 feet. And that is the reason why we have a graphical error on the plan view. To fix that, we're going to have to do the same thing as we did with the door. We will need to create a plan region around the window, then change the cut plane so that it clearly cut through the window. For that, we'll go to View tab, then under Create Panel, we're going to click on Plan Views. On the drop-down menu, select Plan Region. Under Draw panel, select Rectangle, then draw a rectangle around the window. Once we hit Escape twice to get out from the draw mode, View Range will be enabled in the Properties palette. We're going to click Edit, then on the dialog box, we're going to change the cut plane to 6 feet to clearly cut through the window. Now we're ready to click the check mark on the ribbon to confirm that we're done with this plan region. On the plan view, now the graphical error that we saw earlier is corrected. I didn't plan for this video to be this long, but I hope that it helped you understand how to work with doors and windows a little bit better. Thank you all again for watching. See you on the next video.